And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Monday, December 16th, 2024. And getting right into things, we're looking at areas of low pressure coming up out of the North Pacific will impact at times the Aleutians, the Alaska Peninsula, and along the Gulf Coast pretty much now through the Christmas holiday. The interior will tend to see a bit quieter weather as a ridge of high pressure continues to take hold with time, and that main high extends back across northwest Canada. We have coming up here this weekend, just after midnight, Friday night and early Saturday morning, the winter solstice, Saturday, December 21st. And we're anticipating through the Christmas holiday that there's going to be above normal temperatures and precipitation over areas of the southern, especially southeast mainland into the Panhandle. Odds would favor that, and especially along areas of the Gulf Coast. Well, a quick check of a few of the FAA webcams on this Monday afternoon. Fort Yukon, clear skies, 2 below zero this afternoon. There you see the moon along the northeastern horizon. And it's been cold at times. The interior, Fairbanks was 32 below zero this morning. Temperatures may not be quite as cold as at least for in the shorter term, but with time, I think we'll see a return of building cold across the interior as the high pressure ridge gets better established. Isabel Pass, mostly cloudy, 20 degrees, but you go down through the pass, there is a wind advisory for Delta Junction, Fort Greely. That area could see winds gust as high as 40 to 50 miles an hour through Tuesday afternoon. And then Kodiak Island has had some periods of light rain showers, overcast skies, 41 degrees. Again, areas along the Gulf, including Kodiak Island, will occasionally see windy and wet weather with this overall pattern. We're not seeing any really big major low pressure systems coming up this week, but certainly some active weather at times. And then in through areas of the southern Panhandle, we have Point Higgins, fair skies, 34 degrees. And this area, and especially south down across Metlakatla and Ketchikan, westward through Prince of Wales Island, there is a winter weather advisory that has been posted for Tuesday evening through Wednesday afternoon, and I'll highlight that more in a moment. But this image actually came from my coworker, Joel Curtis, who sometimes does this show. He was driving along the Seward Highway and near Johnson Pass, their turnoff. You could see where this avalanche had occurred, and this region continues to have a higher than normal avalanche threat. A quick check of the Alaska Avalanche Center map where potentially there's some trouble spots. This area in orange highlights a better than moderate, actually considerable avalanche risk through the day today and into early tomorrow, and that includes Turnagain Pass and Moose Pass, Summit Lake areas. Actually, that's Moose Pass. It's Summit Lake along the highway there. You can see where you have those steeper grades, and it's very easy for an avalanche to occur and fall off of one of those faces. But here's the hazardous weather we have coming up. I'll start with what's currently, and we'll go further in time. Up here along the Arctic coast, Point Thompson, Kaktovik, Demarcation Bay. Winter weather advisory at least until 9 p.m. this evening for brisk easterly winds gusting 40 miles an hour, could reduce visibilities to a half a mile in blowing snow along this eastern portion of the Arctic coast or Beaufort Sea coastline. Here, downwind of Isabel Pass, we have Delta Junction, Fort Greely under a wind advisory through 3 p.m. on Tuesday. Winds could gust out of the south there 40-50 miles an hour as the colder air pours through that pass. And then here in the southern Panhandle, there's going to be a low that comes up and weakens, but it's going to push moisture up into some colder air. So areas of the southern Panhandle, including Ketchikan, Metlakatla, Hyder on over toward Klawak and Craig, could pick up as much as 3 to 7 inches of snow from Tuesday evening through Wednesday afternoon. And on the satellite imagery, you can see there is band of cloudiness out over the lower Gulf and especially through the eastern Aleutians, Alaska Peninsula. There's a collection of low pressure systems we can kind of take a look at. As of mid-afternoon on this Monday afternoon, we have high pressure here over northwest Canada up into the Arctic Ocean. This will continue to be where the high resides Eventually, ridging will become better established in the interior. But in the meantime, these low pressures will be lifting, some of them coming more northwestward, other ones come northeastward. But by the time we get into late tonight, early on Tuesday morning, here's a low here. This is going to be coming northward, and that's the one that's going to bring some precipitation to the southern panhandle for Tuesday night and Wednesday. This low will just kind of pull across the far eastern Aleutians and tip of the Alaska Peninsula, weaken. This other low will come northward across the Aleutians, and there'll be the dominant low. But by Tuesday afternoon, here's this low. As it approaches the panhandle, especially the southern parts, we expect the potential for accumulating snow over the southern panhandle Tuesday evening into the day on Wednesday. Meanwhile, we have the high pressure here out of central Canada with the ridging extending to the Arctic Ocean. Generally drier conditions across the interior, especially along the middle upper Yukon and Tanana valleys. And then on Wednesday, more of the same, the high pressure here over central northwestern Canada. There's going to be yet another low lift northward out of the North Pacific toward the Gulf for the end of the week. And then this collection of a couple of lows that just kind of spin around dumbbell over the Aleutians as we go through the midweek period. And certainly these lows could produce some gale force winds with storm force gusts, but not especially strong for what we might see this time of year. And looking at temperatures, cold up there along the Yukon Flats. Arctic Village could be down around easily 20 below. Number of sub-zero temperatures in the far north along the North Slope Arctic coast in through the central eastern interior. Even some teens here showing up in the panhandle, the colder air. That's one of the reasons why when that moisture comes up later Tuesday, it's going to be in the form of snow, and that winter weather advisory has been posted. Otherwise, low temperatures getting down the teens around the Anchorage Bowl. Roads are very slippery in sections of south central from the melting that occurred last week, and we haven't had much in the way. We've had a little bit of snow early in the weekend, but not enough to really cover things up and make things a little less slippery. And then lows generally in the 30s along the Alaska Peninsula and into the Aleutians. So temperatures tomorrow afternoon stay below zero along the Arctic coast, North Slope, Brooks Range, especially down here through the Yukon Flats and up toward, say, Eagle and Northway. Temperatures will get a little above freezing there at Craig and Ketchikan in the mid-30s ahead of that area of snow that'll be moving their way. Still below freezing in through much of south central, only near zero for a high there at Gulkana. And then as we go down along the Alaska Peninsula, maybe about 43 at Kodiak City, a few lower 40s along the Alaska Peninsula, Chickmig down toward Unalaska. And then Wednesday morning lows, a little more notable below zero temperatures, 26 below to near 30 below areas of the Yukon Flats, 24 below Northway, sub-zero all along the Arctic coast and in through the North Slope. Temperatures kind of hold near just above freezing. The southern panhandle could even be a little bit of a mix, try to come in there on Wednesday morning or midday Wednesday. But then down along the Alaska Peninsula lows, still above freezing, 30s to near 40. And then Wednesday afternoon, we find temperatures with getting back up near 40 along the southern panhandle, below freezing in the north, Skagway 28, 30 at Juneau. Along the Alcan border in through the east central interior, sub-zero temperatures will continue, and we expect the high pressure ridging kind of just to get a little better established. And now that we're nearing, and certainly once we pass the solstice, just where we're at in our astronomical winter and with the sun angles and everything, it just allows the cold to generally set up and build here. And that means more high pressure. Meanwhile, we have lows that try to come up out of the North Pacific, and it makes it a little harder for them to penetrate farther inland when you have that ridging in place. But nevertheless, temperature outlook going through Christmas, from the solstice through Christmas, is that temperatures are expected to average above normal, especially over the southeastern quadrant of the mainland, including areas around Cook Inlet, the Kenai Peninsula, Prince William Sound, up into the Copper River Basin, and then certainly down into all of the Panhandle. Maybe a little below normal here in the northwest, from, say, Kotzebue up through Kivalina to along Point Lay to Wainwright, Nutqiagvik, but not exceptionally cold. And then precipitation. Again, we're anticipating, I think, as we get into the weekend, solstice weekend and up through Christmas, there are going to be a few more lows coming out of the North Pacific, which are going to place the aim of moderate to heavy precipitation here over the Copper River Basin areas surrounding Prince William Sound and in through the Panhandle. So in these areas, you could see some above normal snowfall or even some mixed precipitation and colder coastal rain. So keep that in mind as we draw near the holiday and with the travel that will be occurring. Looks like precipitation should average out near normal along the west side of the state here after we get past the solstice up through the Christmas holiday.